So it's $10 for a BJ, $12 for an HJ, $15 for a ZJ.
What's a ZJ?
If you have to ask, big man, you can't afford it.
But I so desperately want to know. I want to know. What's a ZJ? Does it have to do with your feet? I don't know. The only reason I say that is that you got the alphabet. This is the dumb logic in my head. A to Z. Z's at the bottom. What's at the bottom of your body? Your feet. There you go. Boom. ZJ. It's better than saying FJ. That's like one of those shitty cars, those FJ Cruisers. Boom, boom, boom. Hope you guys are having a great day. I don't remember why I said to myself last night, you got to get this soundbite, the one with the ZJ, HJ, blah, 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 from Beer Fest. Got to play it because it's going to be hilarious for this specific reason. I don't remember what that specific reason was. I forgot to send myself a note saying, don't forget this. Didn't do it. But I remember the soundbite because how could you forget greatness like that? The guys from Broken Lizard, by the way, the ones that made Beer Fest, they make Super Troopers, they make Tacoma FD, they make all these hilarious things, but I don't think they're fully appreciated. As creative as they are, I don't think they get enough praise. So I tip my cap to the Broken Lizard crowd, and I don't remember why I told myself to play that soundbite, but you're welcome. This is a great soundbite. I love it. Anyway, you know what we need to do? We need to jump into this show. Thanks for joining, and make sure you hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening or watching. And remember, today's show is presented to you by Owl Pipe ID. What, you want me to make an owl sound? I'm not going to do an owl sound. No, you can't make me, but you can. Ready? 3, 2, 1. You're going to do it. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Owl sound. Oh my God, that is horrible. You don't know what you're doing, do you? Oh, gross. Yeah, anyway, go check them out at owlpipeid.com. Also, big thanks to Game Time PDR. They're a proud sponsor of this program, as well as Bet Online. In fact, Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, Bet Online provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen, with the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, college basketball, NHL, to UFC and MMA. Head to betonline.ag today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. It's BetOnline. The game starts here. I really want to know what a ZJ is. If you know what a ZJ is, let me know. You might have to email me that. Your account might get, canceled if you're like direct messaging just the definition of a ZJ. DeHuffPodcast@gmail.com. DeHuff, I was pretty wild in college, and I used to get ZJs all the time. Hell, I'd give them back. Like, what does that mean? What did you do? Who did you do it to? What's happening? What's a ZJ? Anyway, you know what we need to do right now? Jump into some headlines.
Let's go! Let's go!
And now, here are the headlines.
This is awesome. Very cool. Got a lot of listener interaction on this as well. We'll get to that here in a second. But a controversial report has suggested Australians aged over 50 could be subjected to mandatory driving lessons. This is a study from the University of New South Wales in Sydney suggesting that drivers with or without clean driving records should be re-examined in order to make roads safer in Australia. I like that. And I mean, it's one of those things where, yes, you pass your driving test when you're a teenager, but there's a lot of shit that people they forget about, or, they just neglect the responsibility, or they're just dumb. They're just shitty drivers. I think this is great. I know everybody here in the United States would flip the fuck out. I'm an American. That's not my freedoms are being taken away from me. We just want to make sure you're not a nuisance. There's a lot of shitty drivers out there. This isn't about your freedoms or anything. It's making sure you don't kill anybody. And the way you need to look at it is go in there, dominate the test, and then, if anything, all that's doing is Joe Schmo down the road who's a dickhead driver needs to be sharpening up his skills. And it's just going to be, you just got to look at it as, I think I'm a great driver. I'm going to go in there, crush it, and then make fun of anybody I know that didn't pass it. because that's what's going to happen. You know, there's going to be a group of friends that you have. There's going to be one or two that probably don't pass it the first time because they're that shitty of a driver. Dude, where was I the other day? There was this older lady, and she was just. I thought before I ended up going past her, I thought it was some dude that was high as fuck because I get in the left lane because she pulled out onto, it was Colorado Boulevard, right around 120th. She turned into the right lane from the turn lane. She merged basically into the number 2 lane, and she's going slow as shit. Everybody else, the speed limit there is roughly 30, maybe 40 miles an hour. I don't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, she's just like driving slow, and then she starts to veer off into a turn lane, and then she slowly turns back, and then she's continuing to go slow. And I'm like, what the shit is she doing? I was like, this motherfucker's high as a kite. And then I go to get around him because that's a safer choice than being behind him, because next thing I know, she's just going to slam on the brakes or something. Go right next to her, and sure as shit, it's like some old lady that is like both hands on the wheel, staring like very overly cautious above her steering wheel, going like, what's going on? I'm looking for the sex shop. Where is it? I heard there's one around here. Oh, Subway, there it is. Ma'am, that's not a sex shop. Well, you know what? Go find out for yourself. Go in there, see what you get. I'll take a foot long. But going back to the driving thing, I like the idea. There's a lot of shitty drivers. I'm sure you see it on a regular basis. The more you drive, the more you see it. I couldn't imagine being like a professional driver, whether it's a trucker or just somebody that delivers packages or whatever on a regular basis. You're always in your car. You see a lot of nonsense on the road. So I can only imagine what you see. I've seen it a lot when I used to drive down to the tech center every single day from up here in Thornton, putting in roughly 30 miles one way. You see a lot of shitty drivers. And I agree with that. There would be a lot of pushback. But if you didn't have to pay for it, and it was a simple, here's a test, written test, and you're going to have to go out with somebody, a government employee, and drive around the block and explain some stuff and parallel park and whatever. There's so many people that don't know how to parallel park. And full disclosure, I didn't learn how to parallel park till about maybe 5-10 years ago, when my wife made fun of me because I didn't know how to parallel park. But the way she explained it to me, she did a beautiful job explaining it to me and showing me how to do it. And I'm like, oh, it's not that hard. It's just a matter of, you got to position yourself correctly the first time. And it's just like 1, 2, like 3 points. That's it. And it's pretty fucking simple. But she taught me that. I didn't know that for a while. So people are going to freak out if they ever tried to implement that here in the United States. I posted this on Facebook last night. Jay wrote in, only for those who drive around with a face mask. I still see people driving around with a face mask. And that it confused me during COVID, because what's going to happen? Is there a ghost with COVID in your fucking car? I don't get it. Didn't make sense to me. Dave wrote in, as a truck driver, I believe everyone needs to retake their drive test every single year. That might be a little excessive, but I like where your head's at. If it was like every 5 years, I think that would be good. It would be keeping people honest. It would be keeping people in tune with following the rules and why you need to follow the rules because of the consequences. I mean, there's a lot of people that just assume that they can drive like shit. Listen, I've been that guy where I drive like shit, especially when I was like 18 years old. I was a terrible driver. I'm better now, but I still have my moments where I'm like, why did I fucking do that? That's dumb. So I agree with Dave, maybe not to, once every year, but every 5 years, every 10 years, something like that, that wouldn't be bad. Peter says, why start at 50 if they can't drive by then? They never will. Well, I think the point is, you forget a lot of stuff, Peter, is the idea. And it's a matter of, or they purposely decide to go, you know what, I've been driving forever. I know what I'm doing. You get too comfortable behind the wheel, and then you start making dumb mistakes. Maurice said, LOL, considering how some people drive at 20. Wow, God, he wrote that really funny. He also spelled people wrong. It's okay, dude. We all make mistakes. Paul said, only if you wear a Bulls Club hat while driving. What's a Bulls Club hat? Any hat for that matter. Beware of hat drivers. What's wrong with hat drivers? I wear a hat sometimes. That being said, I'm a hat wearing fidgeter. So if I wear a hat, I'm constantly fidgeting with it. It bugs me. I was debating wearing a hat for the show. I started the show and I'm like, no, I had to stop because it was irritating me. I had only been doing the show for 1 minute. So I had to take it off because I'm constantly just messing with it. It's like feels a little funny on my forehead or whatever. But I've never heard. So maybe the point is like if you have a hat while you're driving, you're too concerned about your hat. Maybe it obstructs your view a little bit. I don't know. Never heard of that, dude. Never heard of it. But hey, maybe there's some logic. You tell me. Should the United States adopt that in some fashion? 5 years, 10 years, be like Dave, say once every year. Truckers see a lot of bad drivers. There's a lot of bad truckers out there too. But truckers see a lot of shit drivers. So I tend to lean on, what does a trucker say? Sure, okay. There's a lot of logic in there then. This is great for those upcoming stocking stuffers that you need to do, that you need to grab. Something unique. Actually, this would be a great, if you have a white elephant gift, this would be a great gift. Casa Bonita Casa Christmas candle. It's $30 though, roughly. And it's said to smell like Casa Bonita at Christmas time. Includes hints of the dive pool along with a fir tree smell. I don't want that smell. Smells like a pool and feet and, a tree. No. They also have one that it says a Mexican hot chocolate candle, a green chili candle, and they also have, this one would be great, a sopapilla candle. If you got the sopapilla candle, I believe they said they sell that one year round. That would be a great stocking stuffer. That's a great idea. The green chili one might not be bad. I love green chili. I made enchiladas the other day, and thankfully my kids were accepting to eat enchiladas because apparently a couple of years ago I made them too much, and then they got burnt out on them. So now that they're like, why don't you make enchiladas? I was like, absolutely done. We're doing it because I love Mexican food. Anyway, so I made enchiladas, but they didn't want a lot of sauce on it. So I had a bunch of leftover green chili. Ooh. And I've been putting that stuff on so many different random things. I made leftovers burrito, smothered it in green chili. And then what else? Eggs with green chili. Oh, so good. So good. Now, that being said, it was made from a can, so it wasn't authentic. And it wasn't as flavorful as the stuff that like maybe you could make at home. But it's still freaking good. Still really good. Speaking of the holidays, this is something that these guys are known across the country. And I used to work for this company. KOSI 101 switched to 24-hour Christmas music as of today. They've been doing that for 23 years. And it used to drive most of us nuts at the radio station because it would the speaker system in the hallway would rotate through all the radio stations. It'd be the Fan 1 minute, then it'd be 98.5 KYGO, and then it would go to KOSI 101, and you'd get like a variety. You're going to the bathroom, you're going to the copy machine, whatever, you hear whatever's on the radio over the speakers. And when it would be this time of year, fucking November, and all of a sudden you're hearing, Christmas music, oh my God, it used to piss us off. Come in, slam the door. Guess what time it is? Fucking Christmas. It's only November, 13th. Don't fucking care. KOSI thinks it's Christmas time. I don't like it. I know their ratings go through the roof. So good for them. Good for them. It is a formula that works for them. So why change it? Why? It might irritate people like me because I don't like Christmas music until like the week of Christmas. And still, I don't want to hear it 24/7. I can't imagine working in a doctor's office where they're like, it's always got to be on KOSI. And then come whatever today's date is, the 13th or whatever. And then, every day, every fucking minute, you're listening to Christmas music. Oh my God, that's like torture. It's the same fucking songs over and over again. There's not very many Christmas songs. There's just different artists that sing them. I'm just saying, if I worked at a doctor's office, I'd be going in the back area to see the doctors that I work with. They're like, Scott, what happened to your head? Oh my God. Sorry, I bashed my head against the wall so many times for hearing White Christmas. Okay? Fucking can't stand it. I don't know. Maybe you're somebody that loves Christmas music. I don't. I'm not a fan of it. There are some Christmas songs that I like. Last Christmas by Wham is good. That's about it. That's That's the only one. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart. It's good, man. Every time that pops on the radio, yeah, you're feeling it. It's a good song. Come on. Hey, speaking of things that are good, Owl Pipe ID, you got to go to owlpipeid.com. No. I am not doing an owl voice. You heard me do it yesterday, knocked it out of the park. Oh, kiss it goodbye. Now that's an owl sound. I'll do it one more time. Caw-caw, caw-caw. Ha-ha, nailed it. Anyway, go to owlpipeid.com right now. I'm going to tell you how to get 30% off your order. Owl Pipe ID makes decals that are industrial quality and made for the trades at a lower price than you're going to find at the big online sticker retailers who are selling you a lower quality sticker. Owl Pipe ID are in mechanical rooms throughout the city, helping plumbers identify what's flowing through the pipe. I didn't realize that was a thing, and it makes total sense. Like, I'm talking to Rhea over at Owl Pipe ID, and she's like, yeah, we put these on there. It tells them, depending on what they want, it could say that you got this type of whatever going out here, sewage, or maybe it's clean coming in this way. It's fascinating. Anyway, but they also make promotional stickers for breweries, cannabis shops, retailers, schools, podcasters. Yes. As well as laminated signage for equipment companies, which is pretty cool. Again, there's all these things that I didn't realize companies use for stickers. And you put them on like some Bobcats or excavators, and you put your company logo on there if you're going to rent them out, or you just want your company logo on there. I mean, it's so bizarre. So cool. Owl Pipe ID, the shop is based right here in Inglewood, Colorado. So you got to support some local small businesses. Of all the stickers made, all of the stickers are made on premium industrial vinyl with UV baked ink. That means they're going to be protected from sunlight for 7 years. If you're still unsure, Rhea's going to work with you and send you some free samples of your logo and artwork. Go to owlpipeid.com. Click on that big red button that says request a quote. Tell Rhea what your project is. She's going to respond quickly. She always does. You can email her directly if you would like. sales@owlpipeid.com. Include in the email my exclusive promo code. This is what I was talking about. 30% off if you use the promo code DeHuff on your first order worth $5,000 or less. Go ahead, check them out at owlpipeid.com. Oh, there's a lot to get into coming up here. Oh my gosh, I got sports and I got the mailbag, and they're both bursting at the seams. Let's jump into some sports.
Going deep, tight ends and long balls.
He starts to come and then he pulls out.
Oh, gross!
It's sports with DeHuff.
Bo Nix, Denver Broncos quarterback, was just named this morning AFC Rookie. Was it AFC? No, it was NFL Rookie of the Week. That's pretty cool. It's pretty phenomenal, too, considering they named him NFL Rookie of the Week, even though the team lost. That tells you how good of a game he had, especially in comparison to Patrick Mahomes, which Patrick Mahomes told Sean Payton after the game, you got a good one there, or you got a real one right there in Bo Nix. So that's high praise coming from Patrick Mahomes. Even though I don't like Patrick Mahomes because he's a Kansas City Chief, if all of a sudden he got traded for some stupid reason to, like, say the Vikings or the Seahawks, I'd be like, yeah, Patrick Mahomes is awesome. When he's not a division rival, that'd be great. But that's high praise. That's high praise. And I want to ask you, as a Bronco fan, if you're a Broncos fan, does where the Broncos sit right now, hearing praise from somebody like Patrick Mahomes and seeing his numbers improve on a weekly basis, are your nerves calming down a little bit with the Broncos quarterback position? It is with mine. I'm still not 100% going, dude, this guy's a future Hall of Famer. Well, I'm not ready to do that. But I feel a little bit more at ease than years past because he's getting better. He's improving. And that's good. And it seems like he takes criticism well. So I'm a lot more relaxed with Bo Nix under center than years past. So that's good. That's good. I can't wait to see how this season officially plays out. Will the Broncos make the playoffs? Well, that brings us to the next topic in sports, and that's Broncos taking on the Falcons at Mile High this Sunday. And if the Denver Broncos want to be in the playoffs, they have to win this game. This is going to be somewhat of a challenge, but that stench of last week's Chiefs loss is just lingering. It's just hanging there like a stanky ass fart. And the Broncos want to clear the room as quick as possible, move on. And here's the thing. You go back and you watch that game against the Chiefs. The Broncos dominated the game, especially on defense, and they really, quieted Patrick Mahomes. And they just need to do that again. They need to play pissed off, smart, but pissed off against the Falcons and just dominate. They just need to roll them over. Kirk Cousins is basic. He's a basic quarterback. Yes, he makes a butt ton of money, but he's prone to mistakes. He's not that great. He's okay. He's just a basic bitch behind center. So I think the Broncos shouldn't have a problem with the Falcons offense. The run game might get them. That might be a little bit of a problem, but if they can shut down the run game, and then again, kind of like they did last week with the Chiefs, and if they can just put more pressure, put a ton of pressure on Kirk Cousins, I don't see why the Broncos don't have a successful game against the Falcons. The Falcons, speaking of the Falcons defense, though, they have a somewhat of a soft secondary, and they really don't have an existing pass rush. And I want to say they're last or second to last in the league in sacks. So that's good news for the Broncos because the Broncos defense is just a whole nother beast. But in regards to the Falcons, back-to-back games, they've held teams under 22 points. So that's something to watch out for. Any given Sunday, any team can go out there and just shock you and go, well, that's not supposed to happen. I thought on paper they were shit, but then they go out there. So it might be a good game. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Bo Nix is going to have a good game. Is it going to be his best game ever? I'm going to lean on no, but it's going to be an efficient game, especially if the Broncos can get the run game rolling. Audric Estime, he has the ability to open a can and just put in another running back in there, depending on who they decide to, tag team it with. There's no reason why the Broncos can't expose the Falcons defense and just shred them. If they can get the run game humming, then expect Bo Nix to have a great game. I'm going to say he tosses for at least 3 touchdowns. If I were to put a score on this game, I like to do that. I haven't been keeping track. We'll just assume I'm batting 1,000. That's not true. That's not true at all. But I'm going to say final score, Broncos run away with this one, 34-20 over the Falcons. And a lot of that's going to be due to the Broncos shutting down I keep wanting to say Vikings because of Kirk Cousins, but they're going to be shutting down the Falcons offense. And then the Falcons defense just isn't anything worth writing home about. I think the past couple of games were a bit of a fluke, and Broncos are going to dominate in this one. Plus, they got a lot of frustration based off of last week's loss to the Chiefs, and they're going to take out their aggression on the Falcons. I said that like the next day on social media somewhere. I said, this is all going to be taken out on the Falcons. The Broncos lost. They should have won, but they didn't. So expect them to beat the shit out of the Falcons in this one. Now, the CU Buffs football team is making a lot of headlines. I believe they're ranked 17th now, and that's phenomenal. They're a real discussion of somehow making it into the playoffs, and that would be great. They got a big test coming up this weekend against Utah, and I honestly don't know how the Buffs are going to play out in this one, but I have no reason to think that they can't win this. But the reason I'm really talking about this is I was scrolling the internet, and ESPN was talking about where Shedeur Sanders ends up in the NFL. And could that mean that Deion Sanders follows?
Every single team in the top 10.
Dude, you're talking
quarterback.
Jeff, you're talking the
Just go
Jets.
through the list.
You're talking the Jets.
Could you see? Hold on. Could you see Shedeur and Deion with the Jets?
Heck yes.
I mean, I would, of course, I would love to see that.
Can you see him with the Giants?
Yeah,
The
definitely.
Las Vegas Raiders.
For sure.
Okay, the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, why not?
There's not going to be a top team that's going to say no to.
But here's the thing. There's going to be teams. So, again, the Jets, the Giants, the Saints, the Raiders, the Jaguars, the Browns, the Carolina Panthers.
Jaguars.
There's going to be
Everybody.
teams but there's going to be organizations out of that group that I said that Deion is going to say no.
That's fine. That's fine. The point is that this is just going to be an option that's out there. We're not saying it's happening.
Yeah.
We're saying that this is one of those options that's going to heat up, that's going to be in play this offseason. Is there a team out there that's in position to get Shedeur Sanders that also wants to go and hire Deion Sanders to marry them up together moving forward? Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't. It's damn fun to talk about and think about.
Yeah. Thank you, Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter and Mike Greenberg, and I don't remember who else is on there. But this is coming off of when, like 2 days ago, Deion was on. I would play you the audio, but it's kind of shitty audio. But it's Deion being interviewed by Fox Sports, and they asked him about if he would ever consider being a head coach they brought up the Dallas Cowboys because the Dallas Cowboys are a shit show. And Deion, joking around, picks up his camera and starts, why would I leave? Why would I leave this? And he walks and looks at the beautiful view from his office that oversees the field at Folsom Field, as well as the beautiful mountains and stuff like that. He's like, why would I leave? And then he also tried to get his point across, but they kept interrupting him because they have 4 fucking hosts, and that's just bad news. Don't like it. But the point being, he said it's a different animal. The NFL is different. And he likes doing college. He likes the way that college is structured. He says that. I know. And he could be, persuaded to go a different direction, as soon as his son gets drafted. Things could change. But would you, in the NFL, would you want what is supposed to be the starting quarterback, would you want their parent as the head coach? I think you can get away with it in college because, if anything, they're going to be there 4 years. In this case, not as much. But, you do that and then they can move on. I don't know. I can see this going a different way. And being kind of devil's advocate on it, you look at it and we talked about this. Maybe we talked about this yesterday, where we talk about what happens to the CU Buff football team once Shedeur and Travis are gone. What happens then? Now Deion's all alone. All alone. I don't know what song I'm singing, but it sounds beautiful. Sounds like a voice from heaven just came down and just sang into my microphone. Not really. But what happens to that team once they part ways? It's going to be a shell of itself. Now, that being said, next man up. And if Deion truly believes in his ability to coach, he will stay with the CU Buffs, and he will make the organization, the football team, successful. It might take a year or two again, but you would have to have some sort of setback depending on who they get to replace those gaps. And there's no reason why that they can't get elite guys to fill those shoes. It is enticing, though, I would imagine, as a father, and having success like they're having success right now at CU, for them both to go, shit, you go to the Jets as the starting quarterback, I could be your coach. They're asking me, what do you think, son? And if he's down for it, why not? I don't know how that would play in the locker room. I'll have to shoot a message to like Mark Schlereth, Stokley, Chad Brown, guys like that, and be like, what would you think of that? What would you think of the idea of Deion following? I can send him a message right now. If Deion following his son wherever he goes. I mean, I feel like that would be a cancer in the locker room. Let me find Stinks off the air. But it's Thursday, so he usually... Who else did I say? Hold on, let me do this. Dink. Oh, come on. Okay, hold on. I'm going to do this real time. This is real time shit. So I'll tell if he responds to me. I know he's got to go cover stuff, but I don't know what his Thursdays look like anymore. But
a few moments later,
and then my computer's like, "Did you mean Shredder? Like from Ninja Turtles? Yeah, I did. Oh my god!" So okay, now I got to copy that and send that to other people. Okay, now I got to send that to Chad Brown. Hopefully somebody's going to respond to me. If not, it just proves that nobody likes me. And that's always a possibility. Okay, ESPN is talking about the idea of Shedeur and Deion going to the same NFL team. Would that be an issue in the locker room? Sent that to Chad Brown as well. And then Stokley. Brandon Stokley. The Raging Cajun. I'm hotter than a red pepper. All right, so I sent that to 3 NFL guys. I'll tell you if they get back to me. And hopefully they do. Now, continuing with sports before we move on to the mailbag. I talked about it yesterday a little bit, the Tyson-Paul fight. I'm only going to bring this up because it was a press conference yesterday, and Tyson is freaking locked and loaded. He is dead serious. And when a reporter tried to ask him kind of a dumb question, he gave a passionate answer.
And what would you lose if you lose this fight? Thank you.
I'm not going to lose.
But you say that in the last minute of the second.
I am not going to lose. Did you hear what I said?
Thank you.
Move, bitch! Like Tyson's talking. You best listen. Dang, man. God, did you hear what I said? I said I'm not going to lose. Fuck off. You don't ask somebody that. So if you lose, what are you going to do after this? Go to Disneyland? What? Hang it up? Fuck you, bitch. We ain't talking about me losing. We talking about me winning. It's a loser's mentality. Gearing up for the big loss. Can't wait for that. Man, some people. Sometimes you listen to these questions from the media members, you're like, what the fuck are you doing? There is no there's no reason to ask that. If you're going to, maybe you could get creative and work around it and kind of trick them into being like, well, gosh, if it doesn't go my way. No, a good athlete, a great athlete, whether you're a boxer, whether you're an MMA fighter, whether you're a football player, baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever it is. You don't go out there and go, if I lose, this is what I'm going to do afterwards. No, it's when I win. You always have that in your sight is the victory. You could be down, but you still have the path to victory in your sight. That's the way you got to look at it. Anybody that is waiting for the loss, I don't want them on my team, and they're just going to be lucky to win. Tyson's going to go out there and prove a fucking point. He also was quoted saying that he doesn't financially need to win this match, which is a big red flag for Jake Paul, who should be going, wait a minute. Oh, shit. That's a problem. Now, there's a lot of people on the internet. I was looking yesterday after we talked about the Tyson-Paul fight, and there's a lot of people going, dude, Tyson is washed up. I was watching his, workout video, and no, he is not good, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like watching the workout video, and I'm like, what the fuck do you see? Are you just, you got to be careful because there's a lot of people that are just spewing hate just to spew hate. I don't see Jake Paul winning this. It's possible, obviously. I just don't think it's likely. The only negative is that Mike Tyson is 58 years old. But that doesn't mean he can't go in there and beat the fuck out of somebody. Jake Paul has a height advantage, and he has the age advantage. But Tyson has the experience advantage. He has the inner demon advantage. He has the Iron Mike advantage. And if I'm going to put money on it, I'm putting money on Tyson to win this. And I think there's a lot of people, as it gets closer to fight time, that people are leaning away from Tyson and going towards Paul. Maybe they're right. Maybe I'm just wishful thinking. Maybe I'm just lost in the fantasy of old school Mike Tyson, Iron Mike. That's what I'm just living in the Iron Mike fantasy world. Maybe that's it. But I won't get out of that until after the fight, okay? Because it's fucking Mike Tyson. You can't count him out. We talked about yesterday, he's training 3 times a week where he's doing full 8 rounds. And like his stamina is there, seemingly. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm going to tune in. That's going to be tomorrow night on Netflix. But Tyson, he is locked in and ready to fucking pounce like a fucking tiger that he once owned. Don't you dare give it. What did he say? What is it? They hate cinnamon. God dang, I screwed that up. That was from Hangover. Before we get into the mailbag, hey, listen up, Denver. Remember this name, Game Time PDR. I know some of you got hit by those crazy hailstorms back in May. I did. Oh, it was a nightmare. And if you're one of those who are waiting to the end of hail season or just your classic procrastinator, either way, I get it. And if you're just waiting to get it fixed for one reason or another, listen, you know Denver. This is going to happen again. The past 5 years, we've just been bombarded by hail. And the hard part is finding a trustworthy repair shop to fix your vehicle the right way. So that kind of adds to the equation of why it takes so long to get it fixed. That's why you need to know the team that you can trust. That's Game Time PDR. They're in Denver. They're local. So they're trustworthy. They're trustworthy because I did my homework. And they're a great shop, great bunch of people working in there. They specialize in paintless dent repair, which saves the integrity of your vehicle and restores the value back into your vehicle. Now, to celebrate the end of hail season and those procrastinators out there, they're giving you a $200 gift card just to get your vehicle fixed. Game Time PDR has an expert claims specialist on staff to take the hassle out of dealing with the insurance claims and making it a seamless process. Game Time PDR is going to pay your deductible up to $1,000, but they need to see the vehicle in person in order to qualify. They're able to pay your deductible because they work and advocate for their customers first before the insurance company. Game Time PDR's expertise and experience are unmatched. They have over 30 years of experience in the industry, and they have some of the best technicians on the fucking planet, okay? I did it. I did it again. Sorry, I did that on Monday. I took a break from it 2 days in a row, but I just had to burst out and say, they have the best fucking technicians on the fucking planet. Call Anthony right now, 303-955-8200. Again, 303-955-8200 to schedule an evaluation. It's Game Time PDR, the MVP in dent repair. Let's do it. Let's jump into the mailbag.
Mailbag. You've got mail.
This comes in from Seth. He said, 3 former U.S. government employees and a journalist said they believe the government is hiding info about UAPs from the public at a hearing in Congress as of Wednesday. Now, my computer just froze up, but we will get to this. And this is, let's see, this is the UFO audio I got. I'm going to play this, and you got to send me your thoughts on this.
Do you believe, just for the record, that the federal government, any part of the federal government, is knowingly concealing evidence about UAPs from the public?
Yes, sir.
100%.
Yes.
Yes. What do you believe UAPs could be or are?
Strong evidence that they are non-human, higher intelligence.
I echo my colleague's comment, sir.
Genuinely do not know.
Don't know, but we must find out.
Has there been any, to your knowledge, any communication with a non-human life form?
So the term communication is a bit of a trick word because there's verbal communication like we're having now. The problem is you also have nonverbal communication. And so I would say definitively yes, but from a nonverbal meaning, when a Russian reconnaissance aircraft comes into U.S. airspace, we scramble 2 F-22s, and we are certainly communicating intent and capability. I think the same goes with this. We have these things that are being observed over controlled U.S. airspace, and they're not really doing a good job hiding themselves. They're making it pretty obvious they have the ability to even interfere with our nuclear equities and our nuclear readiness.
There you go. What do you guys think of that? As I'm responding to Chad Brown, I'll get to that here in a second. So you think about that. They're going down this path again of, guys, we have a problem. There's UAPs, UFOs, whatever you want to call them, all over the place. People are seeing them. And it's kind of one of those things where the government is just like, yeah, we acknowledge that we see them, but we're not doing anything about it. Sorry, Chad's still texting me. God damn it, Chad, I'm trying to do a show talking about UFOs. I'll get to you in a second. My God, kids these days. I listened to that about the UFOs. And I've never seen a fucking UFO. Nothing close. So I kind of have a hard time with this. I want that information to come out to be, it's either this or that. It's either some sort of government bullshit that they're doing shit and they're just pretending like, oh, we don't know what's going on. Must be a UAP, must be a UFO, aliens, higher intelligence. They're doing it. Meanwhile, it's just them the whole time. Or it goes the other direction and it's like, fuck, it's UFO. They're aliens up there. I mean, one way or another, I would like to know. That being said, if it's higher intelligence, that opens up a whole nother can of worms. And part of me says, we're just not ready for that information to be released. Maybe you are. Maybe I am. But there's so many people that you run into on a daily basis, they couldn't handle that. The idea of that there's extraterrestrial beings that we're interacting with on some level. People can't handle that. Like I said, maybe you can, maybe I could. But that's going to be a giant mind fuck. It's going to fuck over a lot of religions. It is. Because then you're going to go back and go, wait. So if aliens are indeed real, extraterrestrial life, then what does that mean for these situations back in the day that were put into religious text? Are they talking about these beings? Is that what it is? That's a big giant mind fuck, right? And do you want that? If you're somebody that's heavily religious or even mildly religious, that's gonna make you spin out and make you go and question things. You were happy until then. You were comforted by the idea of what you have been taught for the longest time was true, and now you're just like, I don't know what to believe anymore. It's a mind fuck. And I think honestly that there would be a lot of negative energy, a lot of negative pushback on this if we found out it was truthful that there were extraterrestrial intelligent beings out there and they're already here. They're dicking around with our shit. So I don't know. And the fact that there's people going in front of Congress in going, dude, the government's not telling us the whole fucking story is troubling. So, and these are former government employees, high-ranking government employees, some with NASA. So it's just like, ugh, what are you going to do if this is real? I don't know. I guess in a way, ignorance is bliss. If it's happening, I think right now, overall, best avenue is to just ignore it right now. Let somebody else try to figure it out. But I think as a whole, we can't handle this shit if that was the case. I mean, what do I say? The clusterfuck of madness. It's just a giant clusterfuck. I always bring up the idea that if we find out aliens are indeed real, that people are, even if they came in peace, we as a society, somebody is going to fuck it up, start shooting at them or, doing something negative towards them that's going to cause a rift between the two societies. You got human and then you got the alien, and that will fuck it up. But you also got to realize part of that clusterfuck of madness is the ripple effect of what happens to us, the human beings, and what our beliefs are, and those being shattered. And what does that mean for us going forward? There's going to be a lot of broken people mentally after that who don't know what to believe. And then you're going to also have people that go to the extreme, usually probably in the religious form, who are going to demonize those individuals, those new entities, the extraterrestrial life. Regardless if they're peaceful or not, they're going to demonize them and use that to keep people interested in what they got going on, which is their church. So that's something that you would have to look out for. It's going to be very chaotic, the clusterfuck of madness. It's a real thing. I just haven't put it in written form. I guess I'll write a book. I'd like to check out the Clusterfuck of Madness by Scott DeHuff. Matt OFP said, when waiting for a parking spot as the other occupant is getting into their car, do you signal for the spot or do you sit and wait without your blinker because you're a proper human, understand how the world functions, and expect others to also observe the natural order of things? Matt, I put on my blinker because I understand that I am surrounded by some assholes. That's what it is. You might get it. Be like, oh, he's waiting. I see him. He's closer to the spot anyway. But no, we all know what happens if you don't put your blinker on. Shit, you could have your blinker on. That doesn't mean jack squat. I put on my blinker, okay? I shouldn't have to, but I do because I live in reality, Matt. I do. And there's a bunch of dickheads out there that will steal your spot. Is it the end of the world? No. By the way, that's kind of why lately I drive near the back of the department store, grocery store parking lots. I'll just walk. There's a couple of reasons. One, I don't want to go through the hassle of finding a close parking spot and just driving around and around and around. It's annoying. Also, every time I park in like the main cluster of people ding my car, and that pisses me off. It's so fucking annoying. It's like, Jesus, you guys. Like, I have like this big scratch on my car, and I'm like, who the fuck did that? When did this happen? Nobody fucking tells you. John from Erie said, your new side gig, DeHuff. And I'm guessing this is a headline that he just copy pasted. It says Japanese. I said that funny. Japanese job quitting services contacted by other job quitting services because employee wants to quit. So they have, I think the gist is they have a job service. They have a job quitting service. I think I could start promoting that. You guys just pay me. I don't know. How much would it cost for me to call up your employer and tell them to fuck off, you're quitting? I'll do that. I think we could have some fun with that. That's part of my DeHuff Studios, LLC, that I need to add that to my list. I seriously will do that. I don't know how much, but just give me the phone number. Hi, this is Scott DeHuff. I'm calling on behalf of John from Erie, Colorado. He is employed by you. Well, actually, John wanted me to give you a call. He had some things to say, but I'm going to enhance them for you. Basically, John says you're a dipshit. He didn't say those exact words, but those are the words I'm going to use. You're a dipshit. You should go to the store, buy a bag of dicks, fucking choke on them. And by the way, this is his notice that he's not coming in anymore. Go fuck yourself. If we were on Zoom, you'd see my 2 fingers going up. Anyway, have a great day. If you're interested in quitting your job, please let me know. I think we could have some fun with that. Go a little more aggressive. I could just be like, hey, is this whatever company? Yeah. I'm calling on behalf of Matt. Oh, yeah, Matt. He's a good guy. You know what? Fuck you. He quits. Yes. They're like, what? Is this DeHuff? Oh, shit. I could do it as characters. Connery. Hello there. This is Connery, and I'm calling on behalf of Seth. Seth would like me to tell you that he's quitting. He's no longer going to be employed by your company. And also, how's your mother? My mother's fine. That's weird, because I banged the shit out of her last night. Then he hangs up. I think that would be great. Hi, honey. I'm calling on behalf of Johnny. Johnny says you're a bad guy. Why would you treat him so badly? He's not going to work for you anymore. He quits. Go to hell. There you go. Hey, let me see. Where's Chad? Okay, Chad wrote this. Chad wrote, because I asked him, ESPN is talking about the idea of Shedeur and Deion going to the same NFL team. Would that be an issue in the locker room? He said it would. Deion would have to go out of his way to ensure that doesn't become a locker room issue. I told him, thank you. And he said, by the way, I saw you talking to us on the pod yesterday, because I said, I'm going to steal all your info. So there you go. That's coming from Chad Brown, a seasoned veteran, a freaking badass at CU and a badass in the NFL. It doesn't make sense. I know the talking heads on ESPN are like, this would be great.
and his son on the same team.
It works in college. It does. It doesn't translate to the NFL. So my suspicions were correct. That it would be a distraction in the locker room, and at that level, you can't afford it. So there you go. That's coming from Chad Brown, NFL legend, snake guy, reptile guy, shipyourreptiles.com. Check him out. That's what Chad does. Chad's a brilliant man and just a good dude. So there you go. Thank you to Chad Brown for joining the show, kind of, via text. Chad Brown via text. Thanks, guys. Also, big thanks to John from Erie, as well as Matt OFP, and, of course, Seth for joining the show. If you want to join the show, I love it when you guys do. You guys are amazing. Send me a message on email, DeHuffPodcast@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on my socials at DeHuffPodcast. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you subscribe. Also, wherever you're listening and watching. Hold on. Thanks for listening and watching. Or watching. How about that? And or watching. I'm doing a lot of on real-time producing during this show. I'm very professional. You're welcome. Thanks for listening or watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you could, leave it a nice review. At least give it a full stars review. That'd be great. That helps with the distribution. It helps with the algorithms. Big thanks to Owl Pipe ID. Those guys are amazing. Go check them out at owlpipeid.com. Also, big thanks to Game Time PDR. I'm going to go check them out tomorrow. Go say hi to the crew and see what they got going on. Maybe I'll do a video. I'll go in there with a sledgehammer and make everybody just nervous. They're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's not funny anymore. It's not funny anymore. You said you could fix it. No. Get away from us. You're weird. Ew, gross. No, those guys are amazing. Can't wait to hang out with them a little bit tomorrow. Also, big thanks to Bet Online. Go to betonline.ag. It's the Huff Uncensored. Let's continue to move forward. I'll talk to you next time.